What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Box Attack. I'm Dom, and today we are checking out the brand new Turtles in Time wave from NECA. This is Wave 1. Wave 2 comes out in May 2020-ish, and I'm excited to get into these. These figures just look absolutely awesome. So, yeah, let's not waste any more time. And before we get into it, join the Box Attack Universe Facebook group if you have not already. Lots of cool stuff happening there. We discuss all things collectible, so everybody is welcome. And yeah, let's get started. All right, so first up here, we are just gonna take a look at the box here. You can see on the back of the boxes, we have what it comes with, the turtle basically, and then we have some different ones on the side over here. Everything looks pretty cool. Now these are designed to look like the video game, which we will take a look at in a little bit, get a little closer in depth with that. But let's go ahead and start with, our buddy Leonardo right here. All right, slice the tape open on this. I have been excited for these for a while now, and we're finally here. There we go, look at that. And you know what, just to save some time for all of us, I'm gonna just go ahead and open up all of these because we have all these little twisty ties, and it could take a while. All right, so everything is out of the packaging. We have all the accessories and everything lined up here, and we are going to take a look at these one by one, and well, there's a couple of things I want to point out. So as far as accessories go, you do get 2 extra hands here, and we have our 2 swords for Leonardo, and then we have our board here, which actually has a little stand here that you can pop into the bottom, just like so, and you know, have him being able to do some sewer surfing and whatnot. So this actually just kind of goes on top of here. You know, you match the peg up. You guys get the point. Pretty simple, and then yeah, you can set him up to do some surfing on his little boards, and you got a kind of a ball joint here, so you can rotate these basically any way you want, which is actually pretty nice. They just kind of slide in, and they don't lock into place really. They just kind of push into that little hole there, and then you have the ability to tilt them. Anyway, that's as far as the accessories go, at least for Leo here. We have just these things, but the figure is what I do want to talk about here. So we have the Turtles in Time figure right here, and I wanted to compare that against the last wave of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series figures that we have. And you can see here, I mean, these are through and through a repaint, right? We just have basically everything repainted to be that kind of Turtles in Time video game looking theme with just kind of this pixelated artwork that's happening on them, which is cool. I think it looks really rad, to be honest. And I do have the original first wave, so you guys can kind of see the color variations between the 3 Leonardos here. They're essentially a little bit lighter each time, with obviously Turtles in Time being the lightest. Now, one thing I did notice about this that I'm not the biggest fan of, it's not that big of a deal, not really that big of a deal at all. On the back here, look at, do you see what's happening here? It looks like he's wearing like neon green socks. And that is just simply because, so on the front, we have the paint job that runs down his legs, and it kind of ends at that neon green at the base here. But on the back, they didn't bother to paint the back of the foot, and the back side is a little bit darker. So we have like a neon green and pixelated art, and then it travels around to the back side with a darker green, and they just didn't continue that paint job on the feet. So it just looks like he's wearing neon green socks from the back. I know that you're not gonna really look at him from the back very much, but I just think it was a slight miss on NECA's part by not painting that. The same goes with Donatello over here. We have the same exact look with the hands as well. Now maybe I'm nitpicking. I could be nitpicking about this, but I think that it's an important thing to notice, like, you know, the consistency with the paint job. Like, if you're gonna go from this lighter green to the darker green on the back, maybe paint the hands to reflect that. I don't know. That's just my opinion, though. It looks kind of like an eyesore on the backside to see those neon green socks, I guess, if you want to call them. But essentially, like I said, yes, these turtles are full repaints. There's not a different. All the sculpting is pretty much identical, from what I can tell, anyways. Everything looks identical here, aside from the different pixelated paint job here on the Turtles in Time figures. And the same goes with Donatello here. You can see that we have the previous wave of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series. And I do actually love the staff right here that he has on the Turtles in Time wave. You can see, actually, I should probably just bring them all up. You can see how they differ between the variations. So we have the original Ninja Turtles we have the newest wave, and then we have the staff from Turtles in Time. I think the Turtles in Time staff looks actually pretty cool. I really do enjoy the lighter color scheme here. The lighter palette just looks a lot nicer with this video game centric kind of figure. But anyway, these two are the repaints, obviously, and you can tell that. I do think it is cool that we get the boards here for some super surfing, and I do like the ball joints that they come on. And as far as accessories for Donatello goes, same thing as Leonardo: 2 hands, a weapon, and the board, right? So you can kind of have them. Well, they actually show some of these little scenes on the back. Or maybe not on the back. I think it was on the glam photos online that I saw how they had them set up on the boards. But I do love that we have these little stands here. That's really cool. And we can stand these guys up and put them in a pose, which we'll do in a little bit. But I do want to get into the newer molds that we have from this line, which are definitely different. So first up, we have our foot soldier, right? And we do have that pixelated look on the foot soldier here. Really, really cool looking. I like the color purple that they use for this. It really blends well with the turtle palette, if you want to call something a turtle palette. We do have we have some accessories here. Let's just get into those. Of course, we have different hands here, so he can hold something, because by default he has the fists on his hands. And then we have a sword, and we have a gun. Now you can tell the gun here probably looks familiar, because the gun is definitely a repaint from the animated series figures. So not a big deal. That doesn't really matter to me. Repaint and the sword is basically the same. Just kind of a little bit of a two-tone repaint right there. Figure, totally new though. And we do have his own board here, which does the same thing as far as getting it in there and having him. And oh, look at this detail too. We have the little foot on the front of the board, which I think is pretty rad. So this is the foot soldier, right? And I think that I'm pretty happy with the foot soldier, and I like that you can buy these individually. So if you want to get an army of foot soldiers for the Turtles in Time stuff, or at least a couple of them, you can easily go ahead and just buy another box. Just has one of them in it. It's not a 2-pack or anything, and you can get yourself another foot soldier. So that is pretty cool if you ask me. And then we have one other guy here. We have Slash, and this looks pretty dang cool. Accessories for Slash, we have a little grenade and his jaggedy sword right here, which actually has a pretty pointy tip there. But those are the 2 accessories you get with Slash. You don't get a board with Slash, so keep that in mind. But Slash is actually pretty rad, because they did have to do some different things. So this is not just like it's not just like a repainted turtle. I mean, obviously the body mold is very similar, but you can see that we have his little blades on the end of his hands here, and we have little shoulder pads up at the top there, which look pretty dang cool. And then on the back, look at that. That just looks so rad. The back shell, how we have all the horns coming out of there or whatever, it just looks really, really cool. Did I just call that a horn? I'm sorry, guys. I'm out of it. Anyway, Slash looks pretty rad. And you can see here we have the same sock issue on the back of Slash, where it's like light green and then it blends in on the front. It just looks silly to me, to be honest. You don't have that with the hands on Slash, because he has little gloves on, which you can see right there, which are pretty cool. I love the shoulder pads here, and I love the back of the shell as well. Everything looks pretty dang awesome with Slash, and I do like that we have his sword here. Turtles in Time lineup panning out to be pretty damn cool if you ask me. Definitely I love Slash here. Leo is pretty dope as well. And I like the accessories that they come with. Obviously we need these things are important for Turtles in Time. NECA, you always do really cool stuff. I will say, if you're familiar with NECA stuff, you probably want to warm up these joints before just going ahead and bending them, because they are pretty tough to bend there. But you can see that I swapped out one of his other hands on there, and we're just getting some poses going on with the boards. One thing I did also notice here when posing these is if you push this in hard enough, you'll hear it snap in, and it actually does kind of lock into place. You kind of have to push it into the point where you think you might be breaking it, but luckily it doesn't. It snaps in there and it'll stand a lot better. So I have everything kind of posed out. You can see I have Slash, all his weapons, a little grenade in hand. He's got the sword. This sword looks really rad in my opinion. But you can see all of these now kind of nicely posed on their boards. And then we have Slash. And I just noticed on the top of Slash's head, he's got like some pixelation going on, which I think is pretty cool. And there's a lot of attention to detail on the belt here as well. This is definitely my favorite figure out of the wave. I mean, as you can probably understand. But Turtles in Time, Wave 1. They come in boxes that look like this. You can find them at your local toy retailers, collectible stores, action figure slayers, whatever you want to call it. I think that all these are awesome. Definitely, like I said here, once you lock in that board into the plastic stand here, you're good to go and it's not going to fall out very easily. So, these are the Turtles in Time action figures from NECA. I'm gonna put them in my turtle corner over there. Leave a thumbs up if you want to see a video on the turtle corner, because there's a lot of cool stuff happening over there. Anyway, I think that these are really, really cool. So let me know what you think about them in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a thumbs up, and also be the cool guy and subscribe to the channel. If you're not already, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when new videos like this drop in the future. And don't forget to check out the Box Attack Army. Big shout out to everybody over on Patreon. I send them pops out of my collection every single month. So if you want to join up, definitely be sure to check the link in the description below, as well as a link to the Box Attack Universe Facebook group. So here it is again, Turtles in Time, Wave 1 from NECA. I really enjoy these. I want to know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I really do appreciate it. Once again, this has been Box Attack. I'm Dom, and we'll catch you later.